Well, hey there, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Tina. Thank you.
You are welcome. Yes, it has been awesome seeing you speak today. I've enjoyed your talk, and you covered a lot of territory here in Columbia County. I have three questions for you today. And first, I want to start out with a very hot issue right now in Columbia County. Columbia County is about to break ground on the largest data center compilation in the United States. And I find it very interesting with your background. This is very uncharted territory as far as the healthcare industry goes. I don't think we've seen long-term studies and things about how these data centers can impact us. Obviously, we know technology is needed and it's required, but there's just not been a lot of scientific studies done, and Columbia County is about to drop these data centers right amongst schools. And I know that children have a very special place in your heart and in your background and in your testimony. So I would like to hear your thoughts on that. And I think even before you answer that, one thing that we definitely have in common is neither one of us are politicians. So I have no idea how far of a governor reach you can have, but I want to get your thoughts on that for the constituents here in Columbia County.
Well, I know about data centers. First of all, it's every community needs to make that decision, okay? But there's a lot of misinformation about data centers. I really believe for the right county and the right situation, data centers can be the best economic decision for them if they structure it correctly. Number one, it's misinformation that it's going to cause your power bill to go. That's not going to be the case because you have to pay when you come in as a data center. You have to pay in advance for all the equipment. Georgia Power's already recognized it's going to stay the same. Second is if you do it right, it should reduce or almost eliminate your property taxes because the revenue per square foot of a data center is unbelievable. It's just amazing to me from that standpoint. So I believe that the community is okay. I am comfortable on the science that it's not going to hurt anybody. But I think everybody needs to make their own decision about that. That's their decision. I'm not going to force it on you. I would just tell you that as governor, I would lean into data centers for the right communities because it would drive. If we had a lot of data centers in Georgia, we could reduce at least half our taxes because of the revenue that comes in. Because it's so, especially for the little amount of space that they take, the revenue per square foot is unbelievable. So obviously it's up to Columbia County to do it. I think a lot of people always fear things they don't understand. I get that. It just so happens that I do understand it. So I think it's a good decision. I haven't seen the actual transaction or know how it's going to work, but it can be a really good idea. So I would support it in the right situation.
Do you feel like the legislation is there for the taxpayers to actually receive those benefits? I think that's the other part is that there we're crossing our fingers and saying our prayers that these things are actually going to go through in the legislation. So what do you see? I know that's not the role of a governor, but what do you see or can you impact that?
Well, I think a governor, I could weigh in as a governor on it. So from my standpoint, it's a little bit like Trump's first book. It's called The Art of the Deal.
Yes.
Okay, so the answer is you don't need the governor and you don't need Atlanta to strike a business transaction for this county that works. Okay, you just basically say you're going to pay certain money to this county or to this city or locale and so forth. So you just build it in, and that's the key, is to make sure that the transaction itself is doing that. Obviously, they're going to be paying taxes because they generate a lot of profit. Okay. And they generate a lot of profit probably for at least the next 10 or 20 years because there's such a huge demand for it, especially for the power. Georgia is in an enviable position as an opportunity because we have some of the best power access of anybody in the country. So if we can capitalize on that, then I think it can be a really good opportunity. And I would encourage people to do more studies, but I do not think they're going to hurt anybody. I really don't.
Well, I respect your opinion because you're an expert in the field. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Second question, maybe a little bit easier. Obviously, in September of 2024, we were greatly impacted by Hurricane Helene. Just being part of independent media, I felt like the whole world didn't even see what happened here in Columbia County, Augusta area, Richmond County, the CSRA as a whole. We drive through our neighborhoods now that were so beautiful, and we see the trees that are still down. I know FEMA and all the things, again, you or I, we don't have political backgrounds. But is there anything else that can be done? Because we are still overcoming the cleanup and the ramifications of Hurricane Helene. I mean, even our property values and it's still tough. I mean, it's still tough, and you're probably seeing it as you're driving through today. But is there anything that can be done with that?
Well, first of all, you're asking the wrong person because my answer to anything, there always is something you can do. So,
I love that.
But bottom line is that, first of all, I know that Governor Kemp this is really on his heart. I know he's been dealing with the feds and so forth like that. I do not know exactly where those conversations are, but again, that's a business problem. It does not. Political solutions are not as good as business solutions. So, from my standpoint, I know how to identify. Solution most problems, identifying what the problem is, and in my mind, there's always a way to solve something. What I don't know, because I have not been a governor in politics, is all the availability of the federal funds, all those things. But I think there's some commercial realities that I think we could create to help with this, and I have been talking to the timber and agriculture people and so forth, and I'm really pretty optimistic that I'm going to be able to help them, to be honest. But so I don't know what is available here.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm just telling you that I've been solving problems my whole life, and things I didn't know anything about, and so I will look at it in such a way that if there is a solution, I know I can do it. Let me put it that way. As I sit here right now, I'm not going to tell you I know it and I don't, but I can tell you if anybody can figure it out, I can figure it out.
That's right. Well, those are two big issues right now in Columbia County. So I thank you for addressing those. Last one is a little bit easier. Why should I vote for you?
Well, if you care about others, people, you ought to vote for me because that's where I'm coming from. I'm a very others first person. I'm not in it for myself. I could care less. You do not have to call me governor. You can call me Rick for the rest of my life because I don't need the power. It's going to cost me money, so I'm not going to get any money out of it. So, and I'm doing it for free. But the main reason is because I care about those people that do not have representation. I have been for the last 15, 18 years helping people that can't help themselves, the foster kids, sexual abuse, pro-life issues and so forth like that. So from my standpoint, I've been doing it already. All I wanted to do is do it for 11 million people because I believe that God has led me to say for the rest of my life I can have more impact doing that. So that's why.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you
you
so
too.
much for hearing your platform today and all that you shared with everyone here in Columbia County. And we appreciate you so much, and we hope to follow you on the campaign trail.
Thank you
Well.
very much. Bye-bye.